showing up as live yet. It's upcoming. Now it's live. Alrighty, edit video. There's gonna be a moment here, as per usual. I'm gonna edit the description and thumbnail. Damn it, my links aren't copied, of course. Why would they be? Maybe this laptop hadn't gone to sleep, it would have still remembered. Oh well, just cost me an extra few seconds there. Not like time's valuable today or anything. Passive aggression there for you, because we're on a very strict time limit at this point, and I'm feeling like we probably aren't going to make the time limit, unfortunately, but nah, what am I saying? We'll make it. Fuck yeah, dude, we're making it 100%. That's the problem. I'm just not believing enough in the fucking process, dog. I've been the one holding it back this whole time, surely. It's just me. I'm the problem. That's why we're not getting any good luck in the game. It's because of me. Yeah, that's it. So, save. I'll update the thumbnail right now. So, I'm sure you've already seen the thumbnail if you're watching this in VOD format. If you do happen to be catching this live as it launches. And, well, nice. Because now you can see our thumbnail is me and a good old tubby spider in it. You may be wondering, where did and when did I take that picture? And the answer was literally in like the 40-minute gap there where I wasn't streaming. So let's get right back into this. We don't have any time to lose today, and I'll explain the story as we're doing this, because there's really not much going on as doing this. Equipping my grenades so that I don't off myself. Equipping Berserker for movement speed. And the deputy's bad. And resetting my HUD. So I taking that extreme qualify. 3 fire spider ants. So that reminds me as well. I have another thing to talk about after I'm done my story. But so I decided, since we've been struggling so hard to get farm tubbies out here at Dull Abandon, I would take our thumbnail for the final day here, because the run kind of lives or dies on whether we can get these tubbies and their drops or not in time to give us enough time still to farm the Cobra, the Twister, the Hive, all these other things. Nirvana. So we're still in a pretty rough spot. Exclamation point, so you can check the description to check out my spreadsheet. I'm currently at 802 points as of this being live, and we are on the final day here at 7:20 or 7:19 a.m. Meaning we've got 12 plus 4, still about 16 and a half hours until the end of the hunt. Meaning I've really got to get on this tubby farm and everything else farm. But the problem is these tubbies haven't been wanting to spawn for like the last hour and 20 minutes of me farming. So that brings me back to my story. I got a bit off topic again. I want to take the thumbnail there with the 3 elemental spider ants, obviously, because that's what we're farming. But as I walk up, like, mind you, at the end of last stream, our 10-hour stream, overnight stream, we got no tubbies for like the last hour of the stream, and I was struggling to get a single tubby, and I finally ended off the stream on a sour note with no tubby in sight. Promising to be back right now where I am, but nonetheless, I hopped off and took a few bites of food for us, relieve myself from whatever else they do in their break time. And after that, we went and went to take that screenshot, and when I ran into the 3 elemental spider ants, what do I see on the right side but a fucking tubby spider ant jump down right in front of me as I show up there for the first time on my Rocket Man character. So, obviously I'm like, well, I was just talking about it in the stream. I was like, imagine I took a screenshot with the tubby for my thumbnail. That wouldn't happen. That'd take too long, and we don't have any time today since the hunt ends in 16 hours, whatever, 17 hours at the time, or however it may be. And so because of that, I was like, yeah, that won't happen. I'm just going to take a picture with the 3 elemental spiders. But, lo and behold, Tubby jumps down the first run after an hour and something dry on our account that we're currently fighting on for the hunt. I went into my character specifically meant just for screenshots and also other like video stuff in the background that is unreleased. I went in there and got a tubby first fucking try on accident while trying to just get the thumbnail for today stream. And yeah, I mean, you can see in the thumbnail it worked out pretty good. It could have been better. I was in Fight for Your Life during the thumbnail because obviously tubbies are pretty aggressive creatures by nature. I do have an OP10 shield there on Rocket Man, but the level 80 Tubby was still able to annihilate me by the time my screenshotting character was able to make it over and get the screenshot. Nonetheless, I thought that was hilarious. We got a Tubby in the one run we were off of our character, and finally we have one on our character, thank God. So, like, it was the first run also, like, immediately after stream, I restarted the game. Like, believing that my game's been glitched out since the beginning of yesterday's one now. And in that first run back on, I got a W there on the wrong character. And because of that, make sure we're still alive. Yeah, because of that, I killed the Tubby on Rocket Man just to see what we get, obviously, because, you know, Tubbies are exciting, they drop cool stuff. And of course he dropped a legendary Roboteer, which we do not have on the hunt. Like, we would have loved to have that, but hopefully this is a legendary cat and not a nurse or a binder. Finally, that's a cat class mod, baby. We finally got points. I swear it had something to do with restarting the game, I'm telling you, man. Taking that short break, getting the thumbnails, changing to the new stream of day 10, smoking a little bit of marriage ganja in there even. You can probably tell by my speech patterns and how I'm speaking probably, but I'm also, you know, haven't had sleep, and it's 7:24 a.m., so that's also another factor in the mix. Alright, don't worry about me though, I'm in perfectly fine shape. I'm usually up late in the morning anyway, so it's not even that much, just a couple hours later than I'd normally be up anyway, so I'm currently perfectly fine. We'll see how I go as the day goes on. I may have to retire partway through the day if we guaranteed won't make the point quota, so I can just go get some sleep and rest. But ideally, we can hit the point quota today, so let's get moving on that. We got the legendary cat as item 142. Leaving us at 807 points. Alright, so we need Engineer, Hoarder, Ranger, Reaper, Sniper, and the Bunny, as well as our Becca and Stalker still. So, happy to see finally getting some points here, just a few runs back on the fresh stream of day 10, which is the finale of the official hunt. So I went ahead and put finale down there in the bottom left corner of the thumbnail, but there's also the off chance that we don't finish the hunt today, and I may follow this video up with a off official hunt hours finish to the hunt, just so I can personally finish the hunt off myself. Even if it's beyond the time limit of the hunt, I would like to personally get it done just for like the rest of the video series or on YouTube. I do YouTube as a hobby on the side, as well as just doing it for the hunt here, so this is a perfect opportunity to make a whole series out of this, and I can totally edit all these VODs into a nice condensed series if I work hard enough at it, so I'm actually really excited. But many spider ants. I also got some more tidbits. The other bit I was gonna tell you about. I was doing as one does in their free few minutes to, take care of their needs, and I went ahead and was reading on my phone about the Doll Abandoned Tubby Farm. Just, in the off chance I found some interesting information that wasn't already inside my noggin, And there was a little bit of intricate math tidbits that I found pretty interesting, and that's that each spider ant, there's 3 spider ants, mind you, each spider ant is a, let's say that there's 31 possible roles. 10 of the roles are fire spider ants, 10 of the roles are corrosive, 10 of them are slag, but since there's 31, there's that one left over, and that one left over is Tubby. So basically it's a 1 in 31 chance per spider ant to be Tubby, which comes out to about a 1 in 11 chance, or 1 in 10 point something chance, whatever. I'm not sure exactly, I didn't memorize it, but somewhere in the range of a pretty close to a normal legendary drop rate per run of getting a Tubby. So the fact that we went for an hour and something there without a single Tubby is absolutely bonkers now that I know that math, because it's basically like doing however many runs of Tubbies we did worth of farms for a legendary from a boss that has a normal 1 in 10 drop rate. Like, let's say you're farming Doc Mercy for the Infinity Pistol, or Savage Lee for an Unkempt Herald, Bull for a fastball. Imagine that each run for getting a Tubby is the same as getting that legendary, and then once you get that legendary spider, you gotta get the 1 in 5 chance for a pearl that has to roll into a 1 in 12 chance for the right pearl. So, yeah, there's a lot of intricate math going on here. And now that I know a bit more of it, I'm a bit more chapped at how long we weren't getting spider ants there, but I'm also more hopeful that we should be able to get more spider ants more quickly. It may have been something to do with me needing to restart the game, though. I literally have no idea. Unless we were just online when we got that spider ant, and I would have been online after the game restarted on my other account too. Is there possibly something to do with a hotfix affecting Tubby spawn rates, specifically being in an online session compared to an offline one? Now that's something I never considered. Let's try a few runs online and see if we happen to get any superb Tubby luck here. But I usually just keep it in offline there, so it saves like 2 or 3 seconds of updating the session or whatever, and it also happens to interrupt my stream when I get into it does that, so I usually have it off. But if that's another Tubby spawn rate some mysterious way, then I would like to know about that. And sorry about how many VODs there were yesterday, but hopefully when I condense this entire VOD playlist into a shorter form video series, I can combine all those fucking mishaps and parts that are actually interesting into a nice little video. Might be a bit longer of a video considering how much content there is to sift through for this series. A lot of farming and all, getting every item in the game. Let's load back in one more time here, but I was just sitting in lobby because I think I was about to change back to offline, but I kind of forgot and continued again. So yeah, refresh the YouTube page, make sure the stream is still live. Just because we finally managed to pull off a 10-hour live without fucking with my internet crashing out. I kept my IP up that entire stream and it held firm for us, thankfully. Unlike at fucking Borderlands Temple, where it absolutely annihilated me yesterday, in the only case of off-stream progress that had ever happened up until date, which was I was farming the Borderlands Temple for the X4 missile and the Ogre, and my stream decided to cut out without saying a single word about it to me, and literally like 1 minute after the stream cut out, before I realized I killed an ultimate badass wizard and got the 4x magic missile. Marked it down for points, went to refresh the stream to make sure everything was on camera, and the stream ended 4 minutes ago, or whatever the fuck. And I was like, you have to be kidding me. But we were able to salvage 2 purple magic missiles on the next run, where we still didn't get our ogre. We still actually need to get that, which is frustrating, considering we're on the last 16 hours of the hunt, or whatever. I also still have the Hydra, or not the Hydra, the Twister, the Cobra, the Chopper, the Hive, the Bouncing Bonnie, the Legendary Hunter, the Becca, the Stalker, Infection Cleaner, Quasar, Nirvana, and Ogre. That is the remainder of my list, besides the couple tubby comms and the bunny that we're looking for, as well as the Becca. I think I just mentioned the Becca though, so. Wait. There we go, a tubby, so maybe it's something to do with in an online lobby, or maybe it's just because I restarted my game, maybe we were getting so horribly unlucky before, but that there, my friends, is a stalker, meaning we've crossed off our entire list of Gen 1 pearls now. So down the screenshot. Yeah, this fucking stream's already going better than the entirety of yesterday somehow, in the first 15 minutes. Alright. Stalker for item 143. Alright, we've crossed off every single pearlescent in the game except for the Becca. Bring us to 816 points. Not bad. A bit closer to where I would have wanted to end last stream, but I accidentally sorted my backpack weirdly here. Let's see, this is a gauge class mod. I'm pretty sure we don't need any gauge comms. So. Oh wait, no, do we need the robot here? I don't remember. Engineer, Hoarder, Ranger, Reaper, Sniper. And no, we got the Roboteer as item 54 way back in their earliest tubby farming, actually, so I don't think I've seen one of those since then, but yeah, that was, I got that actually quite a while ago. About 100 items ago, actually, 90 items ago, rather, but good to know that we've farmed that many items since hitting the lady in the last 2 days. That's actually pretty incredible. Yeah, because we're currently sitting in the 140s, and 160-ish, right, in total? I think it was like 161 probably, right? Because yeah, the first 3 columns or rows rather, are non-items, but it goes to 164, so it's 161, meaning we still have 18 items to collect today, and a lot of those are some of the rarest in the game, so that's why I'm a little bit stressed out. But as long as we can keep getting a few tubbles, I will be happy, because as long as we can gather a Becca and those last couple tubby comms and the bunny, we can literally just sit down and farm out those rare items. The only one I'm really worried about are the Legendary Hunter. Controller, are you okay, man? What the fuck are you doing? And the Bouncing Bonnie. But my current... Yeah, okay, this is taking forever. I can't deal with this. Hopefully this doesn't affect our tubbies, and it's just fucking coincidence, but... what was I saying? Oh yeah, we had a method for the Bonnie, which is farming Haterex, the Invincible's middle chest, as well as his general loophole, but We spent about an hour over there, or maybe a bit longer than that earlier, and we were able to pick it up, unfortunately. We saw a couple of fire bees and stuff, so like, it's definitely a capability to have seen Bonnie, but we've got another tubby here, I think back to back, right? Or was there like one in between? I turned it to offline this time too, so. Okay, I swear. Damn, bro, another guns intercom. How? We've seen like 6 of those and like 8 or 9 Titans, but we haven't seen a single Hoarder. I don't know how the hell we haven't seen the Hoarder class mod yet. Like, if I was in a normal playthrough, I would still be tubby farming this hard. And I would have collected every fucking pearl in the game, pretty much. And all this shit, just from the tubbies. While trying to get a damn Hoarder class mod just to use the damn thing. Like, we still can't even use it because we don't have it. Which is honestly annoying as shit. And I just want to get it for points, but I'd also like to have it as an item, you know. Legendary Titan, I can give one flying fuck about, and we've got 9 of them. Or something around there. I don't know the exact count, but I know it's up near fucking 10, which is ridiculous considering we're still missing 5 of them, right? Yeah. Thankfully we were able to mark off that legendary cat, which was the 6th one we needed. Finally getting something done. Furnace has just come on. It's getting pretty warm in that room. Fortunately, almost to the point of breaking us. So let me crack the window behind me a little bit. Oh, never mind. That is exactly the direction the sun is rising in, so I don't really need all that shit beaming directly onto my screen, which is, yeah, my window's right behind me, the TV's in front of me, so I'd rather not have the sunlight shining directly off the screen back into my eyes and just wrecking my eyesight even further than it's already been fucked. I've had glasses since I was 13 so I've been able to take care of my eyes fairly well, considering screens are my biggest hobby in life. Although more recently I've been really trying to reconnect with the outdoors a little bit. And teach myself to go out into the forest alone again. Well, not even again, but I've always had too much fear to go into a forest alone. I'd always need someone else with me to feel any sort of ability to go at all. So it was conquering my fears and my discipline, pushing my comfort zone, and I've been slowly working on pushing myself to actually work up the courage to go into the forest alone. And I can feel that it's going to be a very liberating experience to do it a few times and understand just exactly what I'm getting myself into. I've been out there plenty of times. I know what I'm getting myself into, which is exactly why I have fear, as is rightful, from mountain lion and bears. Both can be deadly if in the wrong situation. It's not common, but that's where my brain gets the better of me, because I've been in the wilderness in groups, and I've obviously run into bears, because bears are overly secretive most of the time. They just happen to not usually be in areas humans are in. But mountain lion, on the other hand, are extremely stealthy ambush predators, so they're most likely going to be in the thick, dense woodland where I would be going, usually in foliage or maybe above you in the trunks of trees or something. So you're never going to know they're there unless they want you to know they're there. So unless you have a very, very keen sense, which you're going to want to keep about you if you're in that situation. Exactly for that reason. Which is exactly why I have that fear, because I know they live in the area, because I've had close encounters with them before. In groups, the spookiest encounter I had, I was only with one other person, and we were probably, I'd say 10 to 15 feet away from it. We never got a face-on encounter with it, thankfully, but it definitely wanted us to know it was there, because it made a very, very distinct feline, almost woman, like, crying for help type fucking, what do you call it? It's just like that weird, like, scream they do, you know? Sometimes it's a mating call, sometimes it's an alert, sometimes it's to try and lure prey to it, in the case of humans, because they can mimic a little bit and attempt to sound in distress and attempt for you to maybe think they're a human and go try to help them and then become their prey, obviously. So, I've had encounters like that as well. A late night walk with another friend where we were walking on a dimly lit road, and at the other end of the road leading into the wilderness and forested area, we were hearing what sounded like a woman screaming, and we were like, yo dog, what the fuck was that? And this was before either of us had experience with mountain lions or knew much about them. And that was the night we learned, because we were pretty spooked. We wanted to almost go closer to investigate, help them, because we thought it was maybe a woman in danger, but it just seemed so out of place, and it didn't seem like it was a constant, which was what was really throwing it off for us, because it was kind of like at intervals rather than, you know, an actual woman in danger who would be probably continuously wailing for help rather than just occasionally, or like making sounds of pain like that loudly at all would obviously probably be a more continuous wailing, you know. So that's what really threw us off at first, and we were still about a kilometer off at the other end of the road, I'd say. Probably, that's probably about a 2/3 of a mile or something around that for me, and it isn't kilometers. We were just kind of confused, kind of concerned, but mostly wary, because it just, something seemed off. We were like, that doesn't seem right, does it? And we were like, no, that doesn't seem right. And so, yeah, at that point we were like, okay, something's up, let's get the hell out of here. And that's, yeah, we were pretty spooked at that point. And that's when we got home and tried to figure out what was making that noise by Googling the noise itself. And what do you know? It was a mountain lion. So it's very good we didn't go to investigate and attempt to help the woman in distress, because that was a mountain lion. The other encounter I was originally speaking of, we were in the woods, in that area that we were like hearing the noise from on that road story. So like, imagine we walked a mile down the road into the bush, past the sound we were hearing that night. So like deeper off in the bush, probably by a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, probably 4 miles into the bush, I'd say. Maybe not 4 miles, but maybe 2 or 3 miles. But we were pretty deep in the bush at this point, because like the nearest localized area also is pretty much still in the bush. So we were walking down the trail, and right as we came up on a tree, like 10, 15 feet in front of us was a left-hand turn where you turn probably about 75, 80 degrees left around the corner, and there's a mid-sized, like middle-aged fir tree there that was pretty low to the ground, so you couldn't really see underneath it or anything. And then all around it were obviously more bigger fir trees and other foliage and types of smaller trees like poplar and stuff. And like right on the other side of that small patch of trees, right around that left-hand turn by like probably just a few feet, we heard that same almost screechy feline screamy noise. Like once you hear it, you can recognize what it is, you know. And we heard that, and like both of us stopped immediately in our tracks, dead still. I wasn't even breathing at that point. All I did was like I had my hand out and kind of in front of me, and I just held it there, and I like lifted my fingers out, and I just slowly like twitched the first joint, maybe even to the second joint, but usually just the first joint of each of my fingers up until 5, and at 5 me and homie like basically dropped to the ground, turned around, jumped backwards as like fast as we could, basically grabbed the nearest rocks along the ground as we did that motion, and then we were off at full fucking tilt with the biggest stones, like most comfortable stones we could have in our hands to whip at whatever the fuck would come at us, you know. And we were running pretty much full tilt, well, you know, spinning and looking in all directions, like obviously hyped off adrenaline. And as we were running, we like dropped our initial rocks to as we saw better rocks on the road, you know. And we're thankful that nothing chased us. I mean, I doubt a cougar, mountain lion, sorry, would I'm trying to avoid any of the immature comments, you know, the jokes. And we picked up better ones, but yeah, I was just past that. Yeah, I doubt it would have followed 2 people anyway. I mean, we were probably, say, 15 around 15, 16 at the time, so, you know, we were fairly grown, almost adult humans, so seeing 2 of us would obviously be a bit of a threat rather than one. If I was alone in that situation, I almost guarantee I would have been fucking mauled, just because of my proximity to the damn thing. I don't know why I would have been there by myself, but that's exactly why I am so scared of doing that by myself. You see in the point I'm getting across here. Making sure we're still alive. Remember, that's checking. So. We're not seeing any tubbies again. I'm gonna switch it back to online and see if it has any indication. If it has any difference. Because I cannot afford to be getting no tubbies this long again. I'm already at like the end of my story almost. I would like to have gotten a few tubbies by now. Anyway. Not entirely certain how loud I was speaking during that whole story, but I feel like I may have had my tone a little bit too loud for the hour. It's my bad. It's what running on no sleep and a small amount of weed would do to you. Not enough to really get me fucking geeked or anything, but considering I haven't smoked barely anything for over a week in A little bit, you know. Not anymore. I'm completely sober now, but at the very beginning of the stream, I was still a little bit of the influence. Just a little bit. Yes, I don't know how coincidence it was that we were getting those tubbies, but at least we got one item off the list, right? Fuck me. Can't believe it's not giving us anything again. I was hoping by getting that stalker and cat class mod that we would be maybe finding some tubbies a bit more frequently here again, but I don't know, we just lose a few seconds each run to that, and it doesn't seem to make a difference, so it really shouldn't. It should just be a 1 in 31 per spider, and so we should be technically farming for a legendary to get a tubby. So I guess it's only realistic that sometimes it takes a little while, which is really frustrating. We're basically farming for a legendary, and then normally when you look on a legendary you want weapon parts, but in our case when we find a legendary, our legendary is the tubby, and the weapon parts are the class mods and pearls that may or may not have. I might want to just try a different tubby farm for a while. I'm getting pretty fed up with fucking dull abandoned farming, I'm not gonna lie. This is supposed to be like the OP tubby farm or whatever, but like, does he feel like we could have gotten more tubbies by now at the annex if we had stuck with the annex earlier? I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. It just feels like annex is better odds than here. Just due to having, you know, skags and spider ants. So like the rabbits and ulties. And then on the spider ant side you have the elementals, but you also, I believe, have random creators. So those can also be tubby. I don't know what the odds on that are exactly in comparison to the elemental spider ants that I now know. But I was under the assumption that all tubby spawns followed the same ruling before. But I think that's just the ruling for specifically badass enemies. I'm not entirely certain. Because now that I'm learning, the elemental spider ants are like, you know, 10 out of 31 for this element, 10 out of 31 for that element, and then, you know, 1 for the tubby. I'm having to wonder a little bit more about what the badass conversion rates are, and if there are any difference. Like, rabbits and stuff fall under the same category as badass, or under the same category as elementals. I don't know, or if they're even under different categories, if it's all the same. That's the information I'm missing now that I'd like to learn. I'd also like to get fucking tubbies, but that ain't happening, apparently. How long are we into this? It's fucking almost 8 o'clock, bro. Almost 8 o'clock. We must be over half an hour in already. We only have those couple tubbies. They're dry again. I was kind of next way for that one. Goddamn. Let me check the stream. That can't be right, right? 39 minutes ago, yeah, fuck me. I guess I went on a pretty long rant there. Maybe I'm becoming not so half bad at this streaming thing after all. I don't even have a fucking audience 99% of the time, but I guess I'm getting better at commentary. At least it'll be more entertaining in VOD format, and you can actually have some just random blabbering and stories and shit to listen to, which I always find to be appreciable when you're playing a video in the background or something when you're just working on gaming or some other activity you enjoy. Alrighty, I kind of want to swap it up from Tubbies for a little bit. Like, we're just not getting anything done during Tubbies right now. We need them by the end of the day, but if it ain't working, it ain't working. So, see if we can knock out some of the rare items right now instead. Like the Nirvana or the Infection Cleaner or something. Because we gotta get that shit done now. The Ogre, I could do the Ogre again while I'm still not so tired, but I'm also already frustrated with that farm from earlier, so probably come back to that after we get another high point value item of some sort. Let's go ahead and load back out this door. The Quasar is like the only base game item we have left besides the Hive and the Bonnie and the Hunter. And we gotta farm Ultimate of Orchids for that, which is kind of rough because I'm not sure exactly how to do that in single player effectively. Let's head out to Caustic Caverns right now as I'm looking at it, just to see if we can maybe get lucky and pull one during a run out here, but I tried like 2 or 3 runs earlier and we couldn't even get any of the adults to evolve for the most part. Like, it was rough out here. Chrysalis for all the orchids to aggro on. Hopefully our larvals don't die. There we go. I've actually managed to latch all the orchids onto the Chrysalis as well as this one. But there's another one up above us here evolving into a badass. So keep our eye on that. Stupid Chrysalis. You're bothering me. So let's get our... Try that new conference call. We got a hater and our legendary Berserker's fire rate buffs that actually put you back on for survivability. Try and lure him over here first right now. Then check out this Adult, because it's not evolving. And what these other ones. I get some new ones spawning in the first place. Almost have to keep our eye on these badasses for a minute longer. And they are targeting me here, so I'm getting back over here. Hopefully the super will just evolve. Super's been kicking around, but like 1 or 2 of those badasses could be outdated by this game. And they apparently decided to single me. I definitely think all 3 of those badasses are outdated now. adults definitely not evolving. Got a few more larvae coming in. We'll try and cultivate them a little bit. Let's go take out these badasses because they're taking up our spawn room right now. Orchid spawns here. Actually, larvae are guaranteed to evolve in Ultimate False Hunter modes. Another orchid coming down from above, funnily enough here. I'm sure it's no line. Okay. This larva is not evolving interesting yet. I thought it was 100% melting. Either way, I think this run's pretty dead. Let's go ahead and just try and restart here. We got a super there, but this might be a little bit of a tall ask to get the ultimate and then for it to have it drop the Quasar, but you have to get it, so let's give it a few tries. We haven't even really tried much yet, so I can't even say if it's going to be a bust. I'll give it at least like half an hour or an hour or something, probably. It's a lot of time to take out of our day. Gotta get it. It's like 8 points too, right? Yeah, it's a pretty good point value item, so. Actually, that Crystallis could spawn without taking one out. That would never happen. Happy to see. Yeah, the other thing we gotta do is take care of these Crystallisks, because they keep filling up our spawn cap as well. And we want our spawn cap to be full of orchids. Yeah. And our first badass spawning, our second one now. Our third one. Fourth one, okay, we got promising set this time around. Looks like we might have one dead adult right now. I'm trying to clear out all these crystals. Badass orchid chasing after me, interesting there. This adult's definitely a dud. I'm trying to get a few more fresh spawns if possible. Oh, I got a super. Happy to see that. And where are the adults back on? Okay, so we got a super. See how that goes. What do we got over there? Just an adult. Okay, so I think most of these badasses are invalid at this point. Let's let them. I'm gonna bring up a clock so I can use a stopwatch here. Start using that next run so I can measure how long work we put in each stage, because there's like usually about a couple of minute time for that transformation. It's increasing by 1 minute. This is all super, but I don't always go on that. I play rare and single player. I don't know if any of these adults are dodge adults that have been hanging around or not. But here we have a couple fresh spawns. Some back over here as well. Let's head into this back area and just go to trigger even more of them. That's fine. So we have a badass there. I don't know if those adults are doing much at this point. This larva was a pod already. This batch feels like they're pretty much worthless, so I'm just gonna save them. I'll try to get again fresh with the stopwatch on anything badass or larger. Should be about a minute for badass, 2 minutes for super, and then maybe 3 minutes to let a ulti evolve to Vermi, but I would have to refresh myself on the exact timers, which I think I will do. Orchid time. Orchid evolution time. Okay, so the evolutionary progress is larvae turn into an adult pod within 10 seconds. Adults turn into a badass within 20 seconds. Badasses turn into a super badass within 30 seconds. And then, let's continue reading about this. Alright, and then the super badass turns into an ultimate within 40 seconds. And the ultimate badass turns into Vermi within 2 minutes. So, from a super to an ultimate should only take 40 seconds. If a Orchid has not turned into a pod for the next progression within those time limits, they never will, so just kill them. Yeah. Makes sense. I just needed a refresher on the time limits of each, so it's actually a bit less than I was thinking. It's only 40 seconds from super to ulti. I would think that was like a minute and a half. I'm gonna maybe try and train the Orchids without a Chrysalis here, just because that means we'll have one extra Orchid. But our survivability might not like that. If we have any larvae that aren't going to transform, I'll take them out. It looks like that one there isn't. That one's going badass already. This one definitely is stuck with a larva. Like I said, probably getting a badass up top there. Yeah, it is nice. This larva definitely isn't up over. I guess it must be like 90%. Maybe it's 100% in 2-player. Usually when I farm Orchids, I'll just let a split screen in, but I'm not certain if we're allowed to do that or not. If we are, then I guess I'm just fucking a masochist. But so I'm guessing I haven't been timing any of these, but I'm guessing this adult is a fun. seem to be not doing fuck all, so. Oh, they got a whole other clutch here that seemed to have ran away from the Chrysalis originally. I'm not entirely certain if this badass came from a truck or if it was an evolved badass. I'm feeling this adult might have been around for a little bit already. Well, regardless, I think I'm gonna get out of here because this isn't fucking working out, man. Just wasting more fucking time somehow. Nirvana. What's the best place to farm Nirvana? Probably the burrows, right? We just need infected badass saplings, but I'm not sure if more spawn while the others are still alive, or if we're gonna have to kill them non-badass. That wasn't one. So there's normal saplings, so without this tunnel there's usually spawns in here, right? Sapling. That one was nothing for some reason. Normal sapling that time. Another normal sapling that time. Alright, let's go see about all these ones. Let's see some badass saplings, please. Badass sapling. Badass sapling, no drop. I got 1% drop rate, so I can't expect it to be easy. The badasses themselves seem a little bit rare, but we got some just this run, so not hopeless to find them. Not worried about sandworms, we don't need those. We're still streaming here. Still live. Okay, I think I need to up my radar. And then I think I also need to swap over to let's try out that newer quad and see if that thing has any merit to it. Going on our Lady Fist. We only got 3 open spots because of our items like these, unfortunately. Probably have to end up getting rid of some of them. This thing definitely hits harder. Let's trigger some more sprout pods. Okay, here we have one. And we get it. Okay. Some more pods. Normal sapling. And that appears to be all for there right now. Sorry, I'm just looking at something. Alright, where is that Triketra? I've never tried this thing since we got it, so let's try it out. It's got really good accuracy, so it's pretty good for hitting crits. Good to reload, so about a sapling. So this thing works pretty good. Got less damage than our coach gun apparently though, which is interesting. Just that more accuracy makes it better, or it's not better. Okay, so it doesn't look like we got any saplings, so let's run it back. It's like the coach gun doesn't hit the same. I don't know. I don't know why this thing has a minus weapon damage. We also have 2 York Europe, which doesn't help with its damage. So yeah, this thing is not going to be good enough to make the cut in our inventory. And this one hits harder, but doesn't have the same reload. Try it out though. I don't really need the amount of shots per second as we do just the damage of them. Is there anything I need to be looking out for around here? Like loot nests? No loot nests drop anything interesting that we don't have. Probably not. Like almost everything. These seem to be like guaranteed. If they do spawn, they seem to always be sapling. as it seems to be the general pool of bandits more. One second. My volume down button on my phone has almost completely quit working at this point somehow. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this is what I'm looking for. Alright. Some sandworms though. Get my phone out of the way. Now I get the drop from fucking sandworms again. I think it's also the same drop rate as the one we're looking for from the Midlands. Let's have a look at our retainer. Looks like it's not great. Just fairly tanky. So nothing too special about it for us. Probably we'll just get another one there. Not that easy. So yeah, I've actually never really done this farm before, but this is where I personally picked up on finding a decent amount of pods, so I don't know if there's a better area than this. I was trying to see if there was, looking up what the best Nirvana farm was, but I literally couldn't find a single Dalvik talking about how to farm a Nirvana anywhere, so I guess we just fucking rock with this and hope we can find enough badasses. We seem to be getting a couple per run, so I guess we should have some chance at it. Of course, he knocks me into a barrel. Really bypasses my health gate. Sorry about that. Sapling. Seem to be taking out a few of them. It's a 1% drop rate, so I don't expect to get it immediately here, but there's an off chance that we just like pull it. I don't know. Definitely some of these ones in the hallway like pop into nothing now. These ones always seem to be saplings, either saplings or badass saplings though. Out here you have the maniacs and stuff as well in the pool, which is a little bit less generic. Kill all the sandworms while we're waiting for the pods to spawn in. Two maniacs. Finally having like a strong quad feels pretty nice. badasses down here this time, really, if any. Sandworms everywhere. Save quit. Just wasting time. No time to waste today. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just too tired for this shit. God damn it. I'm not actually that tired, to be honest. I'm just... My brain's working slower than normal because I've been awake for so long. Which I guess you could classify as being tired, but I don't have a, like, conscious cognitive... Well, I guess my cognitive is declined, but as you can tell by how I'm speaking, but my awareness is still all here. My cognitive function is a little bit lower, which I guess you could say coincide usually, but I'm very awake and aware, but I just have a little bit less brain power, I guess. Get it there. There's one more badass. I don't know if maybe we should just farm this tunnel instead of down below. We didn't get any badasses there last time, so I'm a little bit more hesitant to farm that as much as this, where we get like, usually at least saplings, so it's a good chance that there'll be badass saplings here. Fortunately, not any of them became badasses, though. Here we go, there is one badass. Drop though. Not expecting to get it instantly, but I actually wouldn't be surprised if we did get it pretty quick, considering how easy the sandworm farm is. They have the same drop rate as the sandworm, I think. Unless the sandworm is 10%, but I think it was the sandworm queens that are 10%. Either way, we still have to do this shit with the fucking, I actually don't know which specific ones of the, New Pandora drop the infection cleaner. If it's like specific ones of them, or if it's just any of them named New Pandora. Because if it's any of them named New Pandora, maybe we use the, research center. You can run into those first couple of rooms with lots of enemies there, and the greatest stamina would just mostly. So I'm thinking, use that as our method to get the infection cleaner. It's worth a few less points, since you don't have to get specifically the badasses for it. But a few badasses down here this run, so feeling a little bit better about farming the bottom after this time. A nice change of pace from the tubby farming, that's for sure. Unfortunately, no badass in this room. Oh, we got one badass actually, never mind. Didn't drop anything though. There. Another sapling this time, and another badass. Looks nice, still not getting it, but is pretty rare. It's a 1 in 100. We don't need to kill the sandworms for any reason, but I like getting rid of them, so I can deal with them.